Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is Excelsior. It's a Tier 5 British premium heavy tank. It's located on the southeast spawn of Fjords and it's under the command of me on my American account. Yes, Bigger Stickers is the identity of my American account. And I did mention to you in the previous video that yes, I have been playing the Excelsior just for fun. And I'm about to have a good game. Now it's a 75mm quick firing gun. It's not actually saying quick firing, but it's actually got a reload time of 3.64 seconds by the book, but I've got it down to 3.21 with a rammer. You can see there I tried to get past that Panzer 4H, but he didn't really let me get past him. He's got the 75mm gun. I think he's chasing me, maybe because he wants to get revenge on me for blocking him there at the front of the start of the game. Anyway, I welcome the company. Come and get me if you can, because I'm going into the enemy. Okay, well, headed off down to the South Pass, which is the usual way of handling this battle. You can see up ahead of me is a KV-222, which is the premium Soviet heavy with a Tier 7 hull, but a Tier 5 gun. And unfortunately, he's not sticking around with me. He's actually taking action against that T-67. And it's all me going through the South Pass on my own. But the Panzer 4H is coming up behind me. Now I do realise in the end that yes, he is trying to help me, not hinder me.
Moving in to support you.
Yes, he actually comes in, and I didn't press Z at the time because I wasn't sure what he was up to. But I could see that Panzer 4H, didn't see any heavy tanks alongside him. So I thought, yeah, I'll go in and take him out, get rid of him first. And then I found out there was a Stug 4 and I got hit by him, but I rammed the Panzer 4H, put him in the water and then ammo rack him, blow his turret clean off, and that's my first kill. IKB 103 takes the next round. No problem getting rounds through him. He does put a round into my tracks, but trying to get one more round onto him just as he pulls back. And I got hit by a Fifi, but I only lost 22 hit points. But I'm going to try and use this low ground here to get up on the IKB 103. It's just ahead of me, and then suddenly I see a T1 heavy to my right, trying to get around onto the side of him. He's showing me his front. I did get one round through his port. And I'm now starting to receive rounds from a T1, another T1 heavy, and the PP. The IKV 103 is now dead, but I'm going to still use this low ground here. Makes it difficult. The T1 heavy tries to push forward. Not a good idea. He shows his side, and I take him out with one round. Now these shells will do 110 alpha if you get the pen. And they penetrate up to 91mm of armour. And you can see that shot went right over the top of the T1. I've now got a bit of support from one of my teammates. And we're really going after the enemy. Trying to keep my front to the vehicles, the enemy as well. Because that's very important. You want the heavy armour at the front. First shot on the M4A1 misses. Second one hits. And I get a low roll. And there's a kill shot. Okay, we've got another Excelsior here. It's the enemy one. I put one round into his tracks and tracked him. Didn't do any damage there. No, that was into the tracks, I think. He gets one into my tracks. Couldn't get a penetration, but I've now got a steel wall apparently. Track him. And the Fifi hits me again. Trying to get pen, but I can't. Go for the Stug 4. No problem on him. That's my next kill. 4 kills now. Trying to get this Excelsior. He hits me in the tracks. I pull forward. Auto aim on now. Still blocking his shots. Go for the tracks. And I actually kill him with that round. Okay, now we're off to the races. Because there's only 2 enemies left and there's some distance away. So I'm going to have to motor. You can see I'm overtaking a T1 heavy who's also going max speed, but I've got a few trees to get through. It's very unlikely I'm going to get to those last enemy tanks. In fact, there's only one left, it's the Chaffee. I'd rather like a Top Gun. I've got 5 kills, 1/3 of the enemy team, but I'm not so sure I'm going to get it. So I'm just racing as fast as I can. It's a Meteor engine that's actually in here, the same engine that was in the Spitfire, but without the supercharger. A down or derated, as they say, Merlin. Well, it's the Meteor. And the last enemy is dead, and that is a victory. Quite a bit of damage to the front of the vehicle. I only ended on 158 hit points, but it was a victory. So we'll see the end of battle results after we see the second game. The second game in this battle is on Overlord, and you can see I'm on the north spawn, heading south. Now, there's been a lot of debate about Overlord recently. Should you go to the beach or should you stay in the open country? Well, I'm about to show you what will happen if you stay in the open country. Game on. Now, as you can see in this one, I'm top tier, which does give me a little bit of advantage, but if you look at the enemy team, you can see that their top tier is a BDR-G1B, the Steel Potato, one of the most heavily armoured tanks in the French tech tree, well, at this level. So it's a very difficult tank to take down because it's so heavily armoured. If it's got the 90mm gun, it's also going to be quite potent because he'll easily be able to penetrate an Excelsior. So I've got to hope and pray that he's still working his way up and he's only got the standard gun, the 75mm. Let's have a look and see what happens. Well, there's the enemy, makes an appearance. It was a BT7, did a quick scout and spotted me. I popped my head round the corner and oh, there's the BDR. My first shot was absolutely dreadful, and I took a round from an M10 RBFM as well. BT7 decides, oh, he could pop forward. No, he blocks or takes a round from me, and I block the shots that come back. So it appears the BDR's fine the 75mm because I blocked a shot for 110. So I know I can defeat this guy if I put the rounds in the right place. So I'm side scraping out, but holding the front of my vehicle towards the enemy. Now, normally in these circumstances, you would aim for the tracks on an Excelsior to hold him in place and let other people damage. I'm going for his cupola. Saw the BT7 flash through the field of fire there. The Hetzer's firing at me as well, but that was an HE round, and because I've got a spall liner, that blocks a lot of damage. Wait for the BT7. They popped out. I put a round in, track him. Just need to kill him. There you go. He's back in the garage, and he's made a very poor decision. BDR is still there, and I'm side scraping out with my front to the enemy at all times. Somebody fired a round at me there. And push forward. There you go. There's the enemy. The BDR hit me in the tracks. And now I've got a Panzer 3J firing at me from the side. I'm tracked, so I can't pull back just yet. In fact, I'm starting to suffer, and I'm down to just 24 hit points left. Still being tracked by the M10. There's the BDR. I load the HE rounds. I'm starting to do HE damage to him. And the Panzer 3J is firing from my right. I spot him. First round goes in as an HE. Another one to track him. I pull back. Still getting HE damage off him. And rounds are going in. Not doing a lot of damage, so I switch to the AP. And that's much better. Easily go through his armour. Now finish him off. Yep, no problem. So I got tracked again. Still only got 24 hit points. There's the BDR. The BDR's now firing HE at me. Okay, I'm trying to back off. He blocked another shot. Got a pen on him. Going to use these rocks here. We seem to be doing rather well with 3 tanks up on the enemy. Only a few tanks went down to the beach, but they have defeated who went down there. And I'm going to change orientation so I can attack this BDR. Using the rock this time to side scrape. And where are you? Can't see him. Okay, side scraping off this rock. There he is. This time round, AP round went straight through him. He hit me in the tracks. So just wait for the tracks to come up. Okay, then he hits me in the tracks again. He's still got a lot of hit points, 587. But the team seems to be doing rather well. They're grouped up on the east side of the map. And I think they've got the balance of power over that side. There's very few enemies hitting the tracks again. I'm single-handedly holding back the BDR. And there's tank destroyers behind him. And he keeps resetting my tracks. This is just fun. I'm down to 14 hit points now. Okay, now side scrape out. Keeping the front to the vehicle. Nice one through him. He hit me in the tracks again. Can I get this one through the side of his turret? Yes. He's down to 383. It'll take me at least 2 shots, but he's gone back behind the rock. And at this point I think, well, can I get over to that rock and side scrape off that so I'll be right in front of him when I kill him. Can't see him. No tank destroyers in sight, so I make the dash across the gap to get behind this rock. And once I'm behind the rock, I'm in close proximity. He can't avoid my shots. There's just the rear of his vehicle. I load an HE round, set him alight, and there's the end of the BDR. Okay, there's an IKV 103 up there. Just saw him for a brief second. Put one in his direction, but I'm going to try and side scrape off this gun emplacement. There he is. No, that one hit the gun, I think. That one hit him. So I've now got 4 kills. Got 5 in the previous battle, if you remember. Can I get another one? Oh, there's the M10. And I just see the rear of him coming to sight. That one didn't do any damage at all, and he blocked one. Well, I blocked one with the armour. Blocked 2 with the armour. Can I get another shot into him? Side scrape off the corner. Wait for it, wait for it. Yes! Right into his turret, he's gone. 5 kills, there's only 1 enemy remaining. It's a looks. It's a race to get there, just like it was in the previous battle. But that one was the Chaffee, if you remember. And I was desperately trying to get there in time to get that last kill to get a top gun. Only 14 hit points left. You see, it does pay off the field. Some tanks did make it all the way up the beach, no problem at all. They did kill the opposition, but it was fun holding the enemy back on that level. That looks is going to die. And there it is, that's the battle. Another victory, another heavily scarred Excelsior. These things are almost indestructible. And here's the end of battle results for the first battle on Fjords. And you can see in that battle, I managed to get a second-class tanker. And it's the first time I've had a second-class tanker in this vehicle because I haven't played my Excelsior that much on this account. I've also managed to get a demolition expert. I blew the Panzer IV-H of the enemy team, blew his turret off altogether. And I got a fire for effect, fighter badge, sharpshooter. Oh, there you go. Shell-proof. And a duelist, a hand of God, and lastly a bruiser medal. And finally, I did manage to get a battle hero medal in that game. Yes, I did survive and do the most damage in the game. I got a steel wall, and my win rate from the game was 6,291. And I did say, yeah, oh no, not me as well. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm enjoying the Excelsior, having a lot of fun with it. Let's have a look at the team score and see where I stood. Well, I didn't get the highest damage in the game. The KV-220 managed to get a high caliber for 1,839 hit points in that game. I managed to get the second highest damage with 1,507. And after that, it was the T-67 on the enemy team with 1,358. When it came to kills, I managed to get the highest number with 5 kills, 1/3 the enemy team. 2 kills went to the KV-220, the Skoda T24 and the Wolverine. And when it came to base XP, it was me again with 1,286 base. 1,018 went to the KV-222 with the high caliber. And these were the only 2 players who managed to get over 1,000. And the next high score after that was the T1 Heavy on our team with 682. I fired 36 rounds, or 35 rounds, sorry. Got 28 direct hits and 13 penetrations. Damage of 1,507 hit points, all of it at close range. received 16 hits from the enemy, only 4 of which actually penetrated, but they did take away most of my hit points along with the splash damage from 5, 9 non-penetrations. Those were the rounds that bounced off, and a lot of those shots came from the Excelsior on the enemy team, which was having a great deal of difficulty trying to penetrate me because, of course, he was firing his standard ammo and not getting through that 115mm of frontal armour. 1,265 hit points of damage blocked by armour. Yes, it's a very strong tank from the front. In fact, it's 44 tons in weight. The Cromwell that it was originally built from only carried 28 tons. And of course, the tank that it was supposed to replace was a 38-ton Churchill. So you can see where most of that extra weight went. It went right into the front of this tank, which is why it's very difficult to kill from the front, or for the rear for that matter, because the rear of this tank is 108mm as well, so it's almost as strong at the front as it is at the rear. But don't make your sides to the enemy, because if you do, they will penetrate your sides, which are only 31mm thick. I damaged 6 enemy vehicles, destroyed 5, and got 822 hit points for spotting or damage assist, and I got 2 capture points right at the end while I was in the cap. On a premium count, I earned 53,604 credits, got 26,802 from personal reserves, a total of 80,406 credits. And because I used standard ammo throughout that game, I actually ended up with a profit of 67,580 credits. So you see, if you don't use APCR, you can make a profit on this tank, a lot of profit, very, very quickly, because it's a fun tank to play. That battle only lasted 4 minutes 55 seconds, and that's not bad for 67,000 credits. 1,929 XP, 965 for completing a mission, 772 for this being a premium vehicle, 1,929 from personal reserves, took away 5,595 experience points altogether. So again, you can train crews very quickly with this tank. So that was the first battle on Fjords. What happened in the second battle? Oh my god, yes. That was a lot more fun. Another second class tanker. Again, this time round, instead of getting a demolition expert, I got an arsonist. I set light to the BDR with a HE round straight through his rear and burned him up. I also got a duelist, a bruiser medal, a fighter badge yet again, another 5-kill game, a shell proof, a fire for effect, and finally a hand of God as well for surviving the battle, having received damage from 4 different enemy tanks. I got a Spartan medal in this one because I survived a ricochet when I had less than 10% of my hit points left. In fact, a lot less than 10% of my hit points left in that game. I also got a cool headed for surviving 10 or more ricochets in a row, a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and lastly I got another steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game, and my win rate from that one was 7,349. If we look at the team score, we can see 1,738 hit points of damage to Nick's high scorer, being the M10, who got 1,525, followed by the M4A1, 1,152. So not bad on the score. When it came to kills, again, I've got the highest number, 5 kills, 2 kills for the M4A1, the Matilda, and the M5 Stuart. And when it came to base XP, I was the only one over 1,000 with 1,286, 832 for the M4A1, 788 for the M10 RBFM, who also got a Confederate in that game. 43 shots fired, 31 direct hits in this one, only 14 of those actually penetrated and 9 splash. Yes, I had to use some HE during that game, and I also did use up all the I think I did use up did I use my APCR? I'm not sure if I did actually. I think I did use standard ammo or my HE during it. 1,738 hit points of damage, all of it at close range, 56 hits received from the enemy, only 7 of which actually penetrated, 45 non-penetrations, and 4 hits by way of splash damage. 2,371 hit points of damage blocked by armour. You can see it's built like a bunker, this thing. It really is difficult to kill if the enemy aims straight for your front. If they get to the side of you, then you're in trouble. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 5 enemy vehicles were damaged and 5 were killed, and 450 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, I earned 55,079 credits, got 27,539 from personal reserves, a total of 82,618 credits. And yet again, you can see, yeah, After repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, this time I even made a bigger profit, 72,933 credits, because I used standard AP or HE to do the job. 1,929 XP, 965 from the completing a mission, 772 for this being a premium vehicle, 1,929 from personal reserves. Again, I took a large amount of XP home, 5,595. Now, the most amazing thing of all is this was the very next game after the Fjords one. Yes, I finished the Fjords game, thought that was good, let's do it again. And I got exactly the same result yet again, finished at top place in the game. So I would highly recommend you getting an Excelsior. Buy one because they are so cheap. They really are very, very cheap, but they're very good at training crews, and they're a lot of fun, especially if you're in platoon with other people. But even if you're not in platoon with other people, so long as you follow the mantra of keeping your thickest armor, your frontal armor, to the enemy, you can do massive amounts of damage to them. And so long as when you side scrape out, don't angle too much. In fact, angle very little. Just pull back and let the front of the vehicle pull back enough so you can shoot round the corner, and then you will get lots of damage on the enemy, and they'll do only tracking damage to you at the best if they're lucky. If they're unlucky, they take a lot of damage and die. But you can see the Excelsior is a good tank. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and also do send me your replays if you have any Excelsior battles that were really good. Thanks for watching.